Everyone, remain calm.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. And later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
You're listening to the Jurassic Park Podcast.
You want to consult here or in my bungalow? Hold on to your butts.
Well, we're back.
Hello, and welcome to the 131st episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I am your host, Brad Jost, and we are here to discuss all things Jurassic Park. Welcome to 2018, the year that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom will be released. I know this is going to be a very, very exciting year for everybody in the Jurassic community, full of awesome analysis, conversations, and so much more. We are getting a brand new film, tons of merchandise in new toys, books, and more, that Claire prequel novel, Jurassic World Evolution, the Jurassic Park 25th anniversary. God, this is going to be epic. I don't know what to do. 2018 is going to be insane. So we're here to guide you through the jungle as we get closer to the release of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in June. And we've got a ton of stuff in store for you this year here on the podcast. It's going to be really fast-paced, so try to keep up. Now, in this episode, we actually have a few things to cover in the news, and then we're going to jump into our monthly Jurassic Mailbag with none other than Jennifer Terek. Of course, we've got a ton of questions from fellow listeners, and like usual, we kind of make it up as we go along. But I will say that I think this is probably our most normal episode yet. And after that, to round out the show, in the audio lab, we'll hear from Fallen Kingdom producer Colin Trevorrow on some of the themes from the upcoming film, plans for the trilogy, and how the film compares to The Lost World. It's a great bit of audio, so stay tuned for that. Alright, but we're going to kick off 2018 with, yet again, another pretty long episode, so why don't we get this one started off with a bit of Jurassic news from around the world.
18 minutes and your company catches up on 10 years of research.
Access rate program. Access new security.
These pictures were taken in hospital in Costa Rica 48 hours ago.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but look.
Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
But today, I guarantee it.
Well, I'm not sure how we made it into January without mentioning this in the news segment. I guess it's because December was just a big month and we missed a few things here to announce. But as you probably already heard, Claire Dearing will be getting her own prequel novel. Now, there is a ton of books to discuss. We've mentioned some of them here previously, but here's a few details on that Claire book. Alright, so this one is listed on the Random House website as the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom hardcover young adult novel. It's listed as coming out May 8th, 2018, 304 pages, young adult book. And I'm going to read a little bit of the synopsis here. Discover the beginnings of one of Jurassic World's most beloved characters, Claire Dearing, in this original action-packed young adult novel. During the events of Jurassic World, Claire Dearing faced the savage fury of dinosaurs unleashed. But it wasn't the first time. In this entirely new coming-of-age story, Claire lands an elite internship working for Simon Masrani and soon discovers his plans to build an all-new theme park, Jurassic World. Along the way, Claire establishes valuable relationships with both her peers and the prehistoric creatures she studies. But when the situation turns dangerous, she begins to see the dinosaurs in a different light. Fans of Jurassic World will delight in filling the gaps of Claire's past, all while gaining insights into the experiences that transformed her into the strong woman we know today. So there's the synopsis there for that story. It's really interesting to find out, and I am so pumped that we are actually getting a little bit of backstory on possibly the building of this new theme park and how they, brought it to life. And obviously there was a bit of struggles with this theme park. It looks like something was unleashed, and it wasn't the first time they mentioned there. So that's really, really interesting. And I hope it doesn't stray too much from the character that we got to know in Jurassic World, her being somewhat very strict and a very good businesswoman, and didn't seem too connected with the dinosaurs. So I hope this doesn't transform that in any way, because we saw that growth in Jurassic World, which was perfect, I thought. So this will be interesting. I hope it adds a ton of great backstory to her and to the park in general. But moving on here, I did want to mention a few of the other books on that website as well. It looks like we have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Deluxe Junior Novelization. This is June 26th, 2018. It comes in at 144 pages for ages 6 to 9. I'm sure a lot more of us will be reading this. It looks like there will be a deluxe and a standard version. This is essentially hardcover versus paperback. The synopsis for this is: Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the Deluxe Junior Novelization, is a hardcover edition that retells the exciting adventure and features 8 pages of full-color scenes from the movie and a pull-out poster. So, like I said, I feel like a lot of us might be picking that one up as well. Moving on to the next one, we actually have this. It's a Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom C&A poster book, coming out May 8th, 2018, 48 pages, ages 3 to 7. Now, this is a full-color book. I guess it includes posters from the movie that seem to be ready to pull out and hang up. Next one is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Deluxe Picture Back, I think. May 8th, 2018. Again, this one's 24 pages, ages 3 to 7 again. And the synopsis here is: boys and girls ages 3 to 7 will dig into this full-color storybook featuring the incredible dinosaurs from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This book also includes dinosaur cards and more than 30 stickers. All right, so cool. I love the fact that we're getting kids stuff as well. It's not always just adults that are looking for stuff. Next up here we have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Dinosaur Survival Guide, also May 8th, 2018. Comes in at 80 pages, a little bit older here, ages 6 to 9. The synopsis here is: this indispensable full-color survival guide features all the facts about the Jurassic World dinosaurs that you need to know to survive on the island, as well as the top secret history of how it all began. Oh, so that might be pretty interesting. I'm kind of interested to see what is that top secret history about how this all began. That'll be interesting to read. Next up, we have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Deluxe Step Into Reading. This one is, again, May 8th, 2018. Comes in at 32 pages for ages 5 to 8 years old. So this one just seems to be a way for ages 5 to 8 to learn about the dinosaurs in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and a bit of stickers to add for fun. But that seems to be it as far as Random House shows on their website currently. There's a lot of new stuff I didn't realize there, so that's awesome to find out. Most of all, I'm just excited about that Claire novel. It's going to be super awesome. We're definitely going to have a bunch of episodes at least covering that, so stay tuned for those. In the meantime, we'll have all the details on our website with a post about these books and more, so stay tuned for that, and also check it out in our show notes. Next up, Empire Magazine revealed a great new image of the Carnotaurus from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom as it stares into the gyrosphere that holds Bryce Dallas Howard's Claire and Justice Smith's character. At first glance, it's obviously very reminiscent of the T-Rex staring into the Ford Explorer, or if you want to choose the Lost World, you got the RV scene. There is an incredible amount of detail on the Carno, so really anybody that says the CG from Jurassic Park is better can... well, I guess you know where to go. Just go there. Also revealed on their website is a quote from director J.A. Bayona about what we can expect from the film. He said, "Fallen Kingdom starts with a massive action set piece that feels like a James Bond prologue. And in the center, there is the biggest set piece ever done for a Jurassic movie." So yeah, there it is right there. It sounds super awesome to hear, and really sounds unlike anything that we've seen before in the Jurassic franchise yet. I am so pumped to see how a James Bond type sequence fits into this franchise. It's something new, and I don't know how that's gonna work. You know, stuff like Indiana Jones or James Bond have these opening sequences that are kind of like in the middle of the action. You're not necessarily sure how it was set up. You just find out, like, they just throw you into it, and it is resolved quickly, usually in the first like 10 minutes of the movie. Then they move on to a little bit smaller stuff. But then we also have the biggest set piece ever for a Jurassic movie in the middle of the movie, which I'm assuming he is referring to the volcano bit. But you know what? This is crazy. Every bit of news and information about this movie gets me more and more hyped for June, which I guarantee you the time is going to drag slower and slower as we reach June. And I'm kind of at the point where I almost feel too hyped. Kind of want to temper my expectations for a minute. I don't want to overdo it. So let me just sit here and calm down for just a second. All right, that's good. Anyway, if you're interested in seeing that Carno image, head to our show notes for that image and also the link to Empire's article. This January 2nd marks the 7th anniversary of Pete Postlethwaite's death. You know him as Roland Tembo from The Lost World. He was an incredible actor in and out of the Jurassic series, so let's take a moment to remember him this week.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I'm not a computer nerd. I prefer to be called a hacker.
Aren't you supposed to be a genius or something? I can't get Jurassic Park back online without Dennis Nedry. Incorporating all the latest technologies.
We shouldn't be here. And there's 5 dinosaurs.
How many Sarahs do you think are on this island?
It's that time again, folks, and it's the Jurassic Mailbag for January 2018, and I am joined by Jennifer Terek, and we have a ton of stuff to go through and a lot of stuff to catch up on. December was an insane month for Jurassic fans, so we got a lot to catch up on. Me and Jen, we've tried to stay away from each other and not comment on each other's stuff, so we don't really know each other's opinions and what to think about the trailer and all this stuff that's been released. So I'm really interested to find out what she thinks about that stuff and all these questions that we have lined up. I'm sure a lot of them will pertain to the trailer and whatnot. So before we dive into them, let's say hello to Jen. How you doing?
Hi. So how have you been the last 6 months since the last time I talked to you?
It's been very long, hasn't it? The last mailbag we did was what? Oh man, when was that? December?
I can't even, okay. September to now felt like mailbag every day or so. Like those were coming so quickly. You were messaging me, oh, when are we going to do the next one? It was the end of the month already. Like all of fall was so fast. And now this mailbag, which we've been ready for and anticipating, it took like a year to get here.
I know.
I feel like it's just December 29th right now we're doing this. Just December now, and I can't even function. Like, that's ridiculous. I feel like we've been waiting forever because it's just so exciting.
Yeah,
it's the most exciting time.
Like I said, so much stuff happened in the beginning of December until now that it does feel like it's been 6 months. It's been out of control. Because it started right at the beginning of the month and just hadn't stopped for a week or a few weeks there. And now we're kind of at a lull because of the holidays and everything, so we kind of have some time to catch up. But there's always stuff popping up. Even just the other day, we get more stuff popping up. So it seems to be pretty constant at this point. But I'm excited. We have a lot to dive into.
I feel like a different person since the last time I talked to you. I feel transformed. I feel like something happened spiritually and mentally. I went through an experience.
I think so.
All on the other side.
I think we all did. Yeah, we all kind of ascended and we're in a different place now.
It's a good place.
So,
I like this place.
Yeah, before we get into it with the voicemails and emails, what were your thoughts on the trailer? Because I really don't know. I haven't really talked to you about it.
I know. I actually want to ask you that same question because I don't know if you liked it, hated it, or were indifferent. But my opinion, oh my goodness. I loved the trailer. I loved the behind the scenes. That was the best. That behind the scenes thing. I was at work when that came out, and of course, everything happens when I'm at work. And we podcast at work. It's just what happens. And I was at work and I was with a coworker, and when that popped up, he can attest that I screamed. I was yelling. I was vocally yelling at work, and And he was like, "Who died?" And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. Look." And I was like skipping a little bit just to look around, and that was a moment I will never forget, because that we had nothing at that point, and all of a sudden, everything basically.
Yeah.
There it was. That was insanity. So that was, I love that. That behind the scenes was fantastic. The trailer, I was in Disney World when the trailer came out, and I actually was about an hour late watching it because I was doing Disney World things. But it was great. But that behind the scenes thing was really epic. Really, really epic. I love that. I still randomly watch that. There's that music. Oh my gosh. Okay, could we talk about the music at the end of the behind the scenes? That music. That's epic. Why wasn't that in the trailer? Like, that music should have.
I haven't watched it in like a few weeks, so I'm like lost. What was it? What did it sound like? What was it?
Oh, it was that epic. The theme, the Jurassic theme, but it was epic and slow and loud and just epic. It was at the very end of behind the scenes when they're just showing the clips real quick. That should have been in the trailer, because the trailer music, I think, was similar but not as grand, I guess. But yeah, the music in behind the scenes, I just randomly go to and click once in a while, and I want to make that my ringtone or something. It was so good.
All right, let me see if I can pull this up here. I don't know if this is the right video. Hopefully it is.
Like right when the volcano's exploding and the music is like grand and wonderful.
Yeah, man, it's Jurassic.
This music?
This is gonna be awesome.
No, you went too far back.
Too far.
Maybe not that far.
Okay, wait, here's the volcano. You said the volcano, right?
Yeah, it's like when it's exploding. Let me see.
This music?
And what people will be surprised by.
Run!
Yeah.
Oh.
This movie is different. It's going to be intense and pretty spectacular.
It was really good. That was my best acting.
It's like nothing you've ever seen before.
Yeah, man, it's Jurassic.
Okay, we heard that part.
Yes, that right there. I'm like melted on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, epic.
I usually don't get too like thrilled about trailer music or anything, because it's not final. It's just kind of like, you know, some dude with a keyboard made it, you know? I mean, I'm understating it, of course, but that's essentially what it is. It's not like Michael Giacchino or anything, or John Williams or anything, but and it sounds so synthy to me. So like that, like my ear picks up on how like synthy it sounds. It sounds like somebody's just at their, you know, piano making that. So I mean, it sounded awesome. Don't get me wrong, that was awesome. But I try to temper my expectations, because I probably won't be in the movie in that sense. But it was
I
awesome.
feel that music like in my soul. Like that's so good. It was in the trailer, because that's not. It's very less than that in the trailer. And actually watching the behind the scenes first and then going to the trailer second, I was waiting for that music, and I was hoping, because it gets you. I don't know, it gets me. I don't know if any listeners feel this way, but that music like really gets me pumped for it. Like really much. Really so much. And the trailer didn't have that music, and I feel that would make a difference. But regardless,
I think you're right. Yeah,
I love them both.
Right.
I love them both.
Yeah, I was kind of
I can
thrown
still
off.
hear it. It's so good. I don't even know. I'm like not even going to be functioning the rest.
No.
I'm already gone.
I was kind of thrown off by the fact that the behind the scenes was before the trailer too. Like, I just thought that was a weird move, but I loved both of those things. I thought they were both amazing. Of course, I mean, I didn't expect you to think any differently or me to think any differently. Like, we love them both, so that's obvious. But they were both awesome, and I thought the whole marketing campaign was a little strange. Just the fact that like they went all out, like I've never seen before, and I was just like, whoa, this is weird. Like, I don't expect them from this. Or wait, expect this from them. Wow. Yeah, that's me. You know, that's how I talk. But so yeah, I didn't expect that, but it was great and it was awesome. And I feel like scared that we're not going to get a lot of stuff, I guess, in between this like next 6 months. But who knows? We'll see. And I hope we don't get too much. Maybe there's either we're not going to get enough of anything or we're going to get way too much. So I'm kind of on the fence right now. So we'll see, though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the arguments now a lot of people are making is, oh, they showed too much in the trailer. But I think they showed a sequence, like literally one sequence. That's it, really, of the whole movie. And it was just like a minuscule thing. They just showed that because that's not what the movie's about. And it's not going to be what the movie's about. So yeah. I don't get that whole explosion of anger there. But
I guess when you show one sequence, people don't have anything to base it around. So they're just assuming like this is the big sequence that we're all going to see in the movie at the end of the movie. This is the big one. Why did they show us? So I understand that. And I think it is kind of confusing. Like I love the trailer, but I think it is sort of confusing from a standpoint of like how the movie operates. I understand that they want to keep a lot of it under wraps. But again, they showed so much of that stuff in the behind the scenes, so it's weird that they included it there but not here. I thought that was strange. And what else was I gonna say? I don't know. But
well, I guess my two thoughts are what I've been telling people is that I believe this trailer, this franchise, this whole thing is really, really done for the fans. It's not really to pick up new people per se. I mean, of course, they want as many people to see it as possible, but it's really paying respect to the history of the franchise and the people who follow it. And so they kind of know that we're going to see the behind the scenes. Yeah. And just general people are going to see the trailer, which is going to be explosions and whatever. And they'll be like, yay, explosions. But they know that the fans are going to watch the behind the scenes and they're going to follow that. And they're going to put the pieces together. And they kind of probably already have a general idea of what's going on anyway. So they don't need to do that as much, I guess. So as a fan experience, it is kind of it's a full circle thing. But I guess if you're just coming in and seeing the trailer in general, yeah, I could see the misinterpretation.
Yeah.
But I don't think they read it that way. I think they trust, they know it's just for us in a sense. I believe that.
Yeah. I just hope that they don't lose too many people on the fact that like they just gave away everything. Like, because people will be like, I just saw it all. Like, what do I need to see it anymore? Like, why do I even need to see that movie? They'll write it off too quickly. I hope people don't write it off based off of one trailer that only focused on one part. And Colin and J.A. Bayona have been out, like, making rounds about, interviews and stuff like that about the movie. And they've been saying, like, it's a small portion. It's a very small portion. And there's an action set piece in the beginning, which is really interesting. They mentioned like a James Bond type sequence, which is going to be, I don't know. We've never really had anything like that before that I can, I don't think I can think of any. If you want to consider paragliding next to an island James Bond sequence, maybe, but not really. So that's interesting. And then the fact that this is going to be a small sequence in the middle, and then some, more intimate stuff at the end, which they showed parts of, but not in the trailer. So that'll be interesting to see the fan reaction or the general audience reaction once more stuff comes out, because they're going to have to, state the narrative of this movie a little bit farther than they already did, because people, I think, like, Film Twitter was slightly annoyed and disappointed with the trailer. I don't know what the general audience reaction is, just people randomly in theaters or people just watching on their computer or on the TV. I don't really know what their reactions are, but I know a lot of people on Twitter and stuff like that can be very, cynical, I guess. So they don't necessarily think highly of the Jurassic series. So I don't want that stuff to temper everybody else's expectations. And then word starts spreading out that, oh, this is not going to be good, or it's going to be dumb, or it's, just a big dumb action movie. Yeah. So that's my worry. I loved everything they did, but I do sort of worry about that, way that they did it.
No, I mean, that's valid, because there's a dangerous line that they're walking there. They're kind of, in a way, giving the audience too much credit. Like, they're believing they're smarter than what they are. Because a lot of people are jumping to the conclusion of, oh, it's going to be stupid because they just showed all of it. Who cares? But yeah, in a way, it's so reversed, because they're like, no, we're being smart about this by showing you something that doesn't really matter in the giant scheme of it. But you're not being smart enough to, you're like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a weird juxtaposition of the audience says, oh, I hate things being dumbed down for me. I'm too smart for that. And movies keep doing that. And then finally a movie is like, hey, we're not going to dumb it down. Just use your brain for a minute to think maybe there's more to it than this. Yeah. But yet people aren't taking that cue. They're automatically going to the dumbed down, oh, this is going to be stupid. It's just such a weird thing. And how do you walk that line? Yeah. I don't know.
They need a title card before the trailer that says, this preview will only be showing the next 15 minutes or the middle 15 minutes of this movie. So please stay tuned and be prepared that there's going to be a lot more in this movie. You know, it's going to have to like warn people that it's only a small portion.
You know? Because you can't trust people to figure that out on their own, right? I know. I was thinking that the other day. I'm like, how can they have really done this without digging themselves in a hole, but yet keeping up with their standard of not dumbing it down for people and trusting that there's more? And I'm like, yeah, maybe a title card would have been the only way to really do that. And then people would be like, oh, man, they think we're so stupid. They got to put a title card. Well, guess what? They didn't put a title card, and you are stupid.
Yeah. Well, I think we're giving you, like you said, we're giving too many people credit because, you know, I don't know if you've seen it. You're not a Star Wars person, and I don't know how many people listening are, but in The Last Jedi, there's a sequence where there's 10 seconds of silence, like no audio. And theaters around the country, or I don't know how far or wide it was spread, but at least one theater we've seen have put up notices saying this movie has 10 seconds of silence, so be prepared, be warned, it's in the middle of the movie, blah, 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 all that stuff. It's so ridiculous that, like, the audience has to be so dumb to, like, complain or just to not understand something like that. And have to be told ahead of time that there's going to be something like that in the movie. So I kind of like, you think it's stupid to say like, this is only 15 minutes of the movie or however long, you know, but people are dumb. I hate to say it.
I know.
I'm insulting
I did see that
everybody,
around,
but we're dumb.
Star Wars thing.
Humans are dumb.
Yeah,
Dinosaurs are smart, but humans are dumb.
And then they complain that they're like, stuff gets dumbed down too much for us. Well, I wonder why.
Yeah, you're right. And it's look, this is a series for kids. Let's just calm down. You know, like a lot of us were kids when we first saw these movies. So let's calm down. Let's not take it too seriously. This is all fun and games. So
and really, to play the other side really quick, is it really that bad if that was the movie? Like, let's just say, of course it's not, but let's just say it was a volcano thing, and then we did see somehow in the one sequence, they saw the beginning, middle, and end of the movie of one sequence. I don't know, but I mean, a lot of stuff has to happen in between. So
yeah, I know,
right? It was to fill 2 hours, so it still should be interesting, even if that was the movie. So
I don't know.
It
doesn't make much sense to me, but. Why don't we hear what everybody else is thinking here? We got a lot of, like I said, a lot of voicemails, emails, texts, all kinds of stuff, you know, submissions on the website, I believe. So let's dive into this first one here. It's actually a voicemail from Becky. So let's take a listen.
Hey, Brad, Aaron, Jennifer, and everybody else who's on the podcast.
Who's Aaron?
So I've been listening to your podcast
Aaron,
for
maybe.
A year or so as
Aaron.
a quiet but super, super passionate fan of Jurassic, and I think it's high time that I introduce myself. Do you all remember back in 2015, shortly after the movie came out, I think you mentioned it in your July 5th episode, there was a girl who was hysterical. Her husband recorded a video of her crying. She cried 15 minutes after the movie. Well, that's me. My name is Becky Collins, and let me tell you what, I've been hysterical ever since. I even flew to the exhibit in Philly from Utah, literally just long enough to see the exhibit. Like, I got off the plane, went to the Franklin Institute, hung around for probably 4 hours, and then hopped back on the plane. It was incredible and so
super committed,
so worth it. I wish I could have gone to one in Chicago. Anyway, with all of the excitement surrounding Fallen Kingdom and all of the cool things you guys have been talking about, I just can't help but want to be involved, or even at least take the Jurassic Park quiz with the Jurassic Pop quiz with the Unicast guys. But I just want to let you all know that I so enjoy hearing from you and tuning in for every episode to hear all the news, opinions, every episode of Extinction Level, all of your theories, and just all things Jurassic Park. And I'm counting down the days with all of you, and I hope to hear back from you soon. Okay, see you or hear you next week. Bye.
Aw, she's famous, man.
Yeah.
She should be doing her own podcasting.
I know, right? Like, look here. I have the audio here. Let's take a listen real quick.
What? So you're glad you saw the first one first?
Yes.
Why were you glad you saw the first one first?
I'll pause it there. That's awesome. I remember watching that video, back when the movie came out. I think we played it on the podcast like that, and it was awesome. I found it so like endearing and just really, really great. But yeah, this is a great voicemail, and yeah, we got to get her on the Jurassic Park quiz too. That would be fantastic. I'm sure James and Steve would love that.
Oh man, yeah, I'm glad she called in because she's good. She did that video, and we're excited. She's excited. It's a great place to be. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, you got to get your own segment, like you said. Start your own thing, do something. We got to get her here on the podcast. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad she reached out. That's awesome.
Yeah. And she said she stopped at the Philly exhibit there. I don't know when, but we were all there. So, oh man, it stinks that you only got to be there for 4 hours, but I mean that's plenty of time for the exhibit. I think we spent like 2 hours in there, and that was a lot. But yeah, it's a great thing, and yeah, so that was awesome voicemail. Let's see, what else do we have here? Thank you, Becky. Let's move on to an email from Owen. This one's a little long, so I kind of clipped a little bit here, and I'm going to read as many portions as I can, so you know how I read. Like we said in the last episode, I think a 4th grade level, or I think it was diminishing as my reading was going on.
It was falling. You started at like 5th and then ended up in 3rd.
So let's see where we start here. So it says, "Hey Brad, big fan of the podcast. I'm subscribed." Okay, cool. Here goes nothing. Oh no, sorry, I skipped. Here we go. This is it. I suck already, and I cursed, I think. So
we just started.
Oh,
man,
cool.
Started like a sentence.
I read one sentence, skipped around, and lost my place. Awesome. So what it says is the 3 things I want to touch on are the volcano, Jeff Goldblum, and where the 3 films head. Here goes nothing again. I think this is a bold move for them to destroy the island. Nublar at this point is like a character in its own right. By destroying it with a volcano, Bayona and Trevorrow are, in a sense, killing off a character and saying there will be no island in the next film. When I see Run in the teaser, with the volcanic rock flying everywhere, with the T-Rex taking down a Carnotaurus, and with the mountain exploding in the background and the sheer violence and destruction, I'm reminded of the meteorite extinction theory on how the dinosaurs were wiped out. Bayona and Trevorrow have both said that they've been rereading source material. My theory is Jeff Goldblum's character will follow the theme of the Lost World novel, being that the team wants to go visit Sorna and study extinction. There is a lot in the book about humans destroying the planet and basically setting about causing our own extinction. So I think Jeff Goldblum could be in a courtroom scene talking about human extinction, not caused by dinosaur attacks, but by our own hand and the manipulation of genetics shown in the cloning and then the hybrids. I think he will push for saving and study of the dinosaurs to help prevent the downfall of the human race. Finally, I think the 3rd film in this series will follow this kind of plotline, the downfall of man or the potential end of days kind of storyline. My reasoning for this being the subtext of the last film and what Trevorrow has said about this film. Trevorrow has said this film will focus on our relationships with animals. I take this as how we as a species interact with the world around us, especially we have so many animals on the brink of extinction right now in the real world. This would play nicely with what I mentioned above about studying extinction as an event to prevent our downfall. I would love to know what you think. Keep up the awesome work, Owen. So what do you think about that?
Cool.
There's a lot there.
That's cool that his name is Owen, but he said a lot of smart things in there.
I know, right? Yeah. It's kind of like went over our heads. After that start of that email, it just went over our heads. I don't even know what he said anymore.
I mean, you were having issues with the second sentence, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. His name's actually Owen. And then we're like, wait, what did he say? Probably something really smart.
I read it all way too fast. Nobody understood what I said. But yeah, he makes up some good points there about what Ian Malcolm could be up to in this courtroom. And it is an interesting point. I mean, I kind of think the opposite of what he's saying here. I don't think he's going to be pushing to save the dinosaurs or talk about the human. Well, maybe he is talking about human extinction. That could be a really good point. But I don't think he's going to push. I mean, initially I thought that, but I don't really think he's actually going to be talking about saving dinosaurs. But that'll be interesting to see if there is some reason to save dinosaurs to, save the human race for some reason. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, the way that they keep promoting this, in the promotion to the trailer, they keep saying it's a thing that can extinct the world, like it's harming the world, not just the dinosaurs. So
yeah,
I wonder if the volcano, threatens the dinosaurs, but then something else is happening underneath that we don't know about that could threaten the world, like the human population. So maybe to save the human population, you kind of have to save the dinosaur population. I have no idea how that can work or where I'm going, but maybe that's how I could see.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Other than that, I don't see him doing that.
For instance, like say the dinosaurs have like a virus or something, and you have to like reverse engineer like the virus and the dinosaur to save the human race or something like that. I don't know, but that would be an interesting way to go about it. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think that's too convoluted almost.
I do feel there's like a crazy twist under all of this someplace that we don't have any idea of what it is. So maybe it could somehow change his view and his mission to saving them. I don't know. I mean, I really do think there's something we have no idea what's going to happen yet under there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, the plot synopsis mentions a conspiracy, so we don't really know what that conspiracy is per se, but I mean, you could say maybe, this hybrid creations that they're dealing with in maybe this movie get out of control. Maybe like they've talked about before about maybe there's other companies involved. I don't really know. That plot line seems to have like been lost a little bit here. Early on, like before the creation of this movie, they talked about how it would be like different companies like Apple and PC, what's the other? Just PC, I guess, like fighting each other in a competition. But we haven't really seen a lot of that in this, marketing scheme here. But maybe it does come into play somehow. Maybe
they could
like
be trying to direct our eyes someplace else.
I think they are. I mean, that's obviously what they're trying to do because they haven't shown, a ton of the stuff so far. So, but whatever that, the human extinction or the issue for humans is, the world, at risk. Maybe it's just dinosaurs getting loose and, something like that. Maybe it's some sort of virus and you have to reverse engineer it. Maybe it's something with a volcano setting off like a chain reaction of volcanoes. I feel like that's too far stretched, but who knows? I mean, we're talking about a dinosaur movie.
Oh.
I don't really ever think anything's too far stretched.
When volcanoes erupt, don't they like block out the sun or something?
Yeah, I mean,
isn't that bad?
Well, yeah, the soot and all that stuff, like whatever you call it, up in the air, like the cloud from the volcano, usually like travels pretty far. I don't think it's like a extinction level volcano where like it blocks out the entire atmosphere for like a year or something like that, but. Who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe some reason a dormant volcano goes and destroys the entire world. I don't really think that's the case, but who knows?
Well, do you think they're setting off the volcano on purpose, or somebody is, or they pre-planted something there?
Yeah, I mean,
like a self-destruct button.
I think so. I think there has to be some sort of reason for that volcano going off aside from natural causes, because. I mean, I feel like I've talked about it several times, even with you maybe, but like, why would they build on a theme park, two theme parks on an island with a volcano that has potential to do something so destructive? I mean, they had to have studied that before they built, right? Well, maybe not Jurassic Park. Jurassic World, I think they would have put some time and effort in to making sure things were right. John Hammond, you can excuse his idiocy because he would have just built there and not cared. He would have been like, oh, there's a volcano in here? I didn't even know. Like, he wouldn't even know.
Oh, bonus.
Yeah. we can have a tour going down into the volcano. And yeah, no.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have even realized, I don't think, like that there was a volcano. He would have been just blinded to it. So, but I think, Masrani's team would have like really, looked into it. But maybe the conspiracy is the geothermic power that runs the island. Something is going on there where they drilled too deep or did something that they shouldn't have done, which caused this volcano to explode. I think that's more plausible than anything else, but I don't really know. I mean, I hate to speculate in a way. Like I kind of want to back off speculation, really, because again with the Star Wars, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I speculated for 2 years about what could be happening in The Last Jedi, and I walked out of that film like very disappointed in what I saw, probably based off my own speculation, my own theories and stuff like that. So I've yet to see it a second time to hopefully resolve all that, but I don't want to have that issue when I go to Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. And I think there's a potential because we do that. This is all we do is theorize, but I want to kind of back off as much as I can.
I completely agree because, you'll totally spoil it for yourself or build up expectations and, fill in the blanks and expect to see something and it's not going to be there and then you're going to be disappointed, but you created it for yourself. And it's like, I know. I totally understand what you're talking about. I've done that before,
hopefully we answered that, Owen. Thank you so much for that email, and hopefully we hear from you again. Moving on here, I got another voicemail. This one's from old friend Justice Steele. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Brad. How's it going, brother? This is Justice Steele from Twitter. I actually had a couple questions real quick. My first one is dealing with the first Jurassic Park. This may be a little bit silly, but I figured it was worth asking anyway. In the scene with Dennis Nedry and the Dilophosaur, when he gets sprayed in the face with the goop that the Dilophosaur spits at him, do you think it was actually stinging his eyes, or he was just really freaking out over the fact he got squirted in his face? Because I just watched the scene, and he screamed when it hit his face, and then wiped it away. And then as soon as he got in the car, he wasn't screaming in pain. So it makes me wonder: did it really sting him from getting in his eyes, or was he just freaking out from the fact that he just got squirted in the face by the Dilophosaur? I just wanted to see what your comment would be on that, and also. For Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, do you think that the Spinosaurus may actually make an appearance? I know it wasn't shown, as far as I know. I didn't see one in the reveal trailer that came out last week. But, do you think that the Spinosaurus may make an appearance along with the Carnotaurus, of course, the original T-Rex and Blue and all of them? Those are my questions I just wanted to ask you. Thank you for your time, man. Hope you have a blessed, awesome day and a very Merry Christmas. Thank you, brother. Bye-bye.
Thanks, dude. Had a great Christmas. It was a really great holiday. Hope you did too. What was the first question? I already forget. Oh, the venom.
Yeah.
Do you have any theories on that?
I was focusing on the second one.
I know.
Yeah. It's poisony, isn't it? It doesn't hurt. Doesn't it hurt?
Yeah, I've always assumed, and maybe I forget, but I think it's maybe not stated, maybe it's not, that it's harmful to the eyes or whatever, or it causes blindness, obviously. So I would assume that it kind of burns away and hurt your eyes pretty good. I've always thought, maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like it's foamy, right? A little bit. So I feel like it's searing his eyes almost in a way. It's no, I guess it's not foamy. It's just black, isn't it?
I always thought it was hot tar.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
That's how I always thought. So I just figured hot tar would be painful. So that would be too.
I just assume it's burning his eyes out. It's hurting very much, and he is just screaming about it, almost maybe pepper spray or something. I feel like you see people get sprayed with pepper spray, and it hurts them. You're freaking out for a second, and then a second later you calm down, but it's still burning. It still hurts. He didn't really seem to be still burning. He just was he wiped it away after a minute, and he was he's okay, and he's I gotta get out of here, and then he gets eaten. But I just assume it really burns.
Yeah, I think so.
As far as the second question, Spinosaurus, I don't see it listed here on the Jurassic World website as a dinosaur that was featured on the island, on Isla Nublar, but again, we've seen dinosaurs in that trailer that are not featured on this website as well. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, because like Carnotaurus is not on this website, on this list of dinosaurs. Compies are not listed on here. There's a few others that are in the movie, I believe. So, but yeah, this it's not on here, so maybe there's a chance, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna like, do a random appearance because it's a different island. It won't be the same dinosaurs, so there's no sense in like having like a big reveal or anything. But it would be interesting, I think.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think that rumor has been floating here and there, and I don't think there's any valid points to that. I don't think that they would do that either. Not to say just as in like not to bring out bad memories of Jurassic 3, because not many people have good memories for Jurassic 3, and I don't know if they'd want to go back and touch any of that, and like people bring up like, oh, it's that dinosaur from Jurassic 3, and they don't need to do that. So I don't think they would. They don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be in there.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I think it would be okay. Like, I don't have any issue with it. I actually, I'm going to get, hit hard for this, but I like the Spinosaurus in that movie. I think it's a great villain, dinosaur. I think it's awesome. Mm-hmm. I really like it. I don't care that it beat the T-Rex, whatever. It's not a T-Rex that I care about. Unless it's the baby, then I'd be, a little upset. But I really don't care. It's not a big deal. It's not a true Spinosaurus, so it's something different for sure. But it would be interesting. But I feel like in Jurassic World, they did that whole like T-Rex busting through the Spinosaurus. Actually, this is really interesting. On this, I said that there's no Spinosaurus on this website here. On the dinosaur page on JurassicWorld.com, if you actually go to like the Isla Nublar map, like they still actually have like the theme park website. You just actually have to like click on it. The background image is that bone, like the fossil from the Spinosaurus. I didn't even notice that upon first glance. I'm staring at all this stuff on the main screen here. But so what I was going to say is they kind of like tore that thing down by like crashing through it and saying like, forget about Jurassic Park 3 in a way, That's sort of like they're like, trash talking it by just having the T-Rex smash through it in a way. So I don't know. I don't think we're going to see it, but who knows?
I mean, I wouldn't care either way. As my point always is that I don't care what dinosaurs are in it, just so it complements the plot and the people and the morality of it. Yeah. So I don't really care what dinosaurs they put in, just so it makes sense.
Makes sense to me. Thank you, Justice Steele. That was awesome. Let's see. I feel like it's been a while since we heard from him, but it's always good. Let's see. The next one here is from James Hawkins. It's an email. Let me read this one. So, guys, happy holidays. And I like that it's prefaced with an uh-oh. That's pretty typical for James. So, happy holidays and New Year probably by the time this airs. Anyway, it's James from Jurassic Unicast. Don't worry, Jen. I won't ask a Lost World related question, so you can relax. But I do have another one for you. Based on the new Fallen Kingdom trailer that we've seen and all the extra stuff Claire is now doing on social media spectrum, Bryce rose-tinted glasses aside, what do you think of her changed character from what we can see? And how do you think her character arc will go? All the best, James.
Ooh. Okay, let me take off my glasses, my Bryce glasses.
Yeah.
All right. Strictly from a character standpoint, because I love Claire so much. I love Bryce a lot, but I love Claire so much. And initially, I had to be talked into this, to be honest. I had a moment of it made no sense why she would do a total 180 like that. And I still have a little small issue with that, but I haven't seen the in-between, and I'm hoping there's in-between. I'm hoping there's explanation. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. I get it's a marketing thing, and they're picking that part of the film to market on, which is fine. But I do need an explanation for this. I don't want to go into the movie and just full on change over to full on dinosaur loving Claire. It makes no sense. I need a transition. I need an explanation. I did have to be talked through this a little bit to kind of be okay with it, because I did have an initial problem, because that's not Claire. That's not where we left her. And I don't want it to just time hop and you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to accept this, because I'm not accepting it. I need to have a little explanation for it. But if there is an explanation for it and it's a good one, I'm okay with it after that. It's just, I just need a little transition to happen. And I trust them that they're going to do that, I hope. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really interesting if she just went from, pristine white, clothed Claire to like Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, all of a sudden, like, rough and tumble in the jungle and all that. I don't think that would be a smart move. Hopefully there's some in between and some build up. I don't know, but we're getting a Claire novel, which is awesome. Like, how excited are you for that?
I'm so excited.
I mean, it takes place before all this stuff, but maybe it'll have some insight into how she can change in a way or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, all the backlash that happened from the first movie, I was a little afraid of this, that they would totally run the other way and be like, oh, sorry, we didn't mean to do that. Here's your superhero, for real superhero. Like, no, my superhero is the other one, the one who is a normal person doing about her normal day with her smarts and her life, and then being a superhero anyway. Like, she doesn't have to look and act like a superhero to be one. And that's why I liked her so much. And now this one, they're throwing superhero at me. I'm not buying it. I don't know.
Oh, man.
It's not my Claire.
This hurts. I can't hear this anymore. This is terrible. You sound so like...
I don't know. You see, it's all coming out now. But no, I got to believe that there's an in-between. Because I don't want boot wearing. I hope there's at one point where she has her regular clothes that she normally would wear and businessy stuff, because that's who she is.
Yeah, I kind of want to see her go back and forth. That would be nice.
Here's an example. When we saw the Power Rangers movie, and I love the Power Rangers, and I saw the Power Rangers movie, and the Pink Ranger, right? She was like, she had her long hair, and she was like a regular girl, and to be a Power Ranger, she had to cut her hair. And I'm like, why couldn't you just be a Power Ranger and be pretty at the same time? Like, why do you have to cut your hair and act all boyish to be a Power Ranger? That's going against this here. And this is what I feel like they're doing with female characters to make them superheroes. They're taking away their hair. They're taking away their heels. They're taking away anything that makes them a girl and putting them into a superhero situation. And I'm like, no, Claire was awesome because she did all that with the girl stuff. Yeah. They're missing that here, and that's worrying me a little bit.
Yeah, that's not cool to change it up like that. I hope, I hope they don't do that, neuter the character too much and just like do that whole 180 without telling us why. Or, I mean, we kind of know why it would happen, but the whole spectrum of how she got there, it would need a major change of sorts, because she can't just flick a light switch and be like this new person all of a sudden.
Yeah, why would she want to save the dinosaurs anyway? Like, I'm trying to figure this out. Maybe there's a responsibility aspect, but I mean, think about it. She worked. It doesn't make sense that she would just automatically. She should be like, yeah, I don't care. I'm free from that. Do it. Blow them up.
I don't think that at all. I think the trajectory of what she did in the first movie makes so much sense to me as to why she would want to save dinosaurs. Because if anybody signed up for the email for the dinosaur protection group, she's the one who wrote the email, so she, said stuff about, this is our responsibility because we created them and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a lot of weight on her shoulder after looking that Apatosaurus in the eye as it died. Like, that changed her. I feel like it just stems from that, and we've talked about that plenty. It stems from that moment of her, totally changing, almost doing a 180 right there, but she's still herself. She hasn't changed too much, but perspective-wise, I feel like she dramatically changed in that moment, and I could see from that moment on she would change into somebody who would be like, wow, these are animals. We can't, especially if there's a volcano going off, we can't let them die. Like, we can't do that. Maybe she was a dog person or a cat person, but not a dinosaur person until that moment. So now she's relating them to dogs and cats and elephants and giraffes and all that. So maybe she has something to base it off of. I don't know.
And I'm okay with that, as long as they show me that and they explain that, and they're just not. It just doesn't open with, "Yay, we're just gonna save them all because that's what I do now." Like, I need something. I need something. I had to be. I mean, I was excited and into it, but I had to be a little talked into this, a little bit. I have to say. But I don't know. I'm a little scared.
I hope we get the right explanation. But thank you, James. Let's move on here to I actually have an MP3 from AJ. Let's take a listen.
Hey guys, I was going to call in, but I figured it would be a little bit long for a voicemail. So I just am sending in a voice memo instead. My name's AJ, and I just wanted to let everybody know about the new segment that I'm going to be starting pretty soon with my 2 little girls, and we're calling it Jurassic Kids. Now, Brad, I know I've been emailing you over the past couple months saying I'm going to do it, but over the holiday I actually had some time to sit down with them and get the first episode done. So, listening to this podcast for so long, I've heard countless stories from everybody in the community that has been talked to on the podcast about when they got introduced to the franchise as kids. So I thought, why not get it straight from the kids themselves? I have 2 daughters, Annabelle, who's 6, and Gabby's 4, and we watch the Jurassic movies together all the time, and we all love them. So I thought it would be fun and interesting to get their perspective. So I'll be sending in our segment as soon as I'm done with this, and hopefully it'll be able to get on to one of the next couple episodes of the podcast. Now, I also wanted to leave Brad and Jen something to talk about, so I have a couple questions. First of all, why do you guys think the gymnastics scene from The Lost World is so hated?
Oh.
I mean, if I felt confident in my ability to pull off that move and save my dad, I would absolutely do it. And if it's because of Malcolm's line that he says after it, the school cut you from the team, well, that's just one of the cheesy quips that Ian makes all the time, so I don't get why anybody would hate that. And then my second question is, do you guys think that there's any scenes or parts of the movie that you think don't hold up or are kind of cheesy? For me, the only one I can think of is when Ellie finds Ray Arnold's arm. Watching it on the Blu-ray, it just looks so fake, and the blood part of it is just not the right color, and it kind of looks pretty bad. But that's pretty much the only one I can think of. I don't know if you guys might be able to or not. But I just wanted to let you guys know about the new segment and know what you thought about those last 2 questions. So I'll be listening.
Awesome. Yeah, he's going to be joining up pretty soon. That's so cool. I can't wait to have a segment like that. Recently, James and Steve have kind of had a few like younger generations, on their segment, the Jurassic Pop Quiz, asking them questions and stuff like that. And it's kind of like opened my eyes, and a lot of other people I've heard from that like there's a completely different perspective that we haven't, touched on recently. And it would be awesome to hear from that and the kids and like what their perspective is. So I'm really excited for that one. But what was the first question? Oh, the gymnastics scene. So I know you don't know a ton, but you probably know the scene, right?
I've heard of it. I think we've talked about it a couple of times.
All right, so let
I
me
don't
set
think
it
I've
up.
seen it.
Let me set it up for anybody that doesn't know. In early in the Lost World, Kelly is explaining to her dad about the gymnastics team and trying out and all that, and he's like talking to her and doesn't realize that she's been scrubbed from the team, and she's like, "Thanks for knowing." And so it's like this whole thing creates family drama between them. And later on in the movie, like towards the very end almost, she kind of climbs up this, rickety old thing inside a building, and she takes a little long to kind of, do the hand thing and like get prepared and jump onto the poles and swing around a few times and do some moves and then kick a velociraptor through a window and out onto the ground. And then he says, "They cut you from the team?" Like, hilariously. So why does that get so much hate? I don't know. I mean, I think it's hilarious. I love it. Like, I accept the comedy of that moment. I think it's funny, and I think it pays off. Like, they set it up in the beginning of the movie, and it pays off later on. Yeah, maybe she took, like, too much time, like, doing a routine, but I almost feel like that's a routine. She practiced to get on this team and did a routine, and that's what she did. And she's like, all right, I know there's a few moves. I got to set it up so I can get a good kick, and that's what she did. But it's fun. Like, let's relax about that moment in the movie. Everybody, AJ's got it right. It's fun. It's cool. Just be cool about it, I guess.
I don't know. I think that's what you could say about most of Jurassic anyway. People tend to take it too seriously sometimes. And even in that scene like that, I mean, yeah, it's fun. Whatever. It's fine.
And what was the other question about something being too corny for you or too, I guess corny. Do you have any moments like that stand out to you? I have one real quick if you need to think.
I don't know. I mean, there are plenty of moments, but none that really bother me because it's kind of its charm, so it doesn't bother me too much.
Yeah. There's one moment for me.
Corny.
It kind of popped up as I was just listening now. It's a moment in Jurassic World where they're tracking down the kids and they come to the waterfall after the kids have jumped off already, and I think they find like a shirt or something or around that area. I don't know. And Chris Pratt says it's like taking a stroll through the woods 65 million years ago. And he like grabs his gun and the camera like pans around him and he's just like staring off into the distance in this like really, really corny, cheesy way. And I'm like, ugh, it's like one of those like eye roll moments. It's just like, I don't know why they did that. Cause that if there's like one thing that bothers me in that movie, that's it. It's so cheesy, but like I really don't care that much. But if I had to pick one out, it's like that would be it.
It's when Ms. Ronnie's getting in the helicopter to fly, and he's like, "You don't need anybody else," or something. When she says, "You need zero fly," that just bothers. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much, but I guess if I had to pick one, I do cringe a little bit there.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Funny. Like you cringe a little bit, but overall scheme, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not going to ruin the movie. I feel like the gymnastics scene like ruins the movie for people. Like, people are like, people on Twitter just complain about, oh, Lost World sucks. That gymnastics scene, dude, how can you defend that? It's like easily. It paid off. It's great. It's funny. Ian Malcolm has an amazing quip after that. Like, it's so good. I love that scene like so much. It has never bothered me. And it's one of those things that like, after reading online, it was the only time that I ever realized that people had an issue with that scene. So, like my entire life, like living like with that movie, I had never realized people had such an issue with that movie or with that scene in general. So, I don't know. Just relax, everybody. Take it easy. Just like enjoy, have fun with it. It's a movie. Like I said earlier, it's a kid's romp. Just have fun with it.
And we're all big kids, basically.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Let's see. Let's move on. Thanks, AJ. This one is from a longtime listener. And it says, longtime listener, big fan of the show. Jen, what is your favorite dinosaur in the Jurassic series? And which dinosaur are you looking forward to the most in Fallen Kingdom? Also, down the road in the Jurassic series, would either of you like the possibility to see rival companies cloning what would be considered current scientifically accurate dinosaurs? Might be cool to see Jurassic or classic Jurassic InGen T-Rex have a face-off in a fight against a scientifically accurate feathered T-Rex. Thanks for taking my question. Have a great day. So that was from Josh. That was from Josh.
Me. What's my favorite dinosaur? It changes a lot throughout my life, but for the most part, it probably is the T-Rex. That's pretty consistent. I mean, that roar is amazing, and it's just like the king of dinosaurs or the queen of dinosaurs. It really is. When I was little, I used to like the one with the fin, like the Metrodon, or I don't know what it is.
Well, yeah, Dimetrodon is awesome.
It's not a Spinosaurus. It's not a Spinosaurus, but it has the fin of it.
Well, Dimetrodon walks on all fours. It's not a dinosaur, but it's a really cool looking reptile.
Yeah, I think that, it was on all fours. It kind of, it had that fin, it had its face. I think that used to be my favorite one when I was little, and then it kind of went into, I used to like Stegosaurus a little bit too, but T-Rex has always been there, and that's probably there, but as far as what I'm excited to see, my point's always, as long as it makes sense in the story, as long as it makes sense with the people, and it's a human tale. I always say that Jurassic's the human story, not a dinosaur story. The dinosaurs are just there facilitating the human story. So I don't really know. I guess I like the T-Rex. I do. The Carnotaurus. I'm excited for that because of Disney World and their ride features the Carnotaurus. So that's a biggie. That gives me Disney feels. But I'm pretty easygoing with whatever dinosaur they want to put in. I'm not really specifically looking forward to one. Just so it makes sense in the story, I'm fine with that. Yeah, that's my answer.
And what about the cloning of, or rival companies cloning, more accurate dinosaurs? Would you like that?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, sure. It would shut a lot of people up that are whining about the non-accurate dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So that's nice. But I don't care. Sure.
Yeah.
Just give me a good story. I mean, sure. If they could write a good story around that, I mean, yeah.
I would definitely like that. I think we've been talking about that on and off, throughout the history of the podcast here, like a rival company doing that. That would make so much sense. Like, it doesn't make sense for InGen, that company to be doing it because they've already created their canonical dinosaurs. That's what they look like. That's what they should stay like. But another company creating dinosaurs, that look more accurate would be perfect. That's exactly what I want to see. Like, in this movie or the next movie, like that would be so great to actually see that come to life and just kind of have the ability to compare, to see which one we like more. People are kind of afraid of feathered dinosaurs, like that they would look too goofy or whatever. Like I saw people making fun of a more accurate T-Rex today on Twitter as we're recording this. Some guy was like, "Oh, look at me, the mighty T-Rex!" Like, and it was just like, "Would you be afraid of this?" And it was like a quote from Jurassic Park, like Grant and Lex or something, like, I don't know, but it looked kind of goofy for sure. But it was just one interpretation of it, and if there was more scientifically accurate, it would be awesome. I would like that a lot. What was I gonna say? So I was also on. There was like a discussion kind of going on, maybe more so argument with some people on Twitter about how accurate the dinosaurs are in Jurassic Park. And this person, I think, was like a teacher of maybe, dinosaur or something or other. So I can understand why this person would be like angry about the way the dinosaurs are represented. But I think you have to take it all in stride and look at them as a wide source and say, look, this is not a real dinosaur. It's genetically altered creation. You can say monster. You can say whatever you want. Like, it's not exactly a dinosaur. And it was created with all kinds of different DNA, not just tree frog or whatever, African frog or whatever. All kinds of stuff. And, they created what they wanted to create. They didn't create the most accurate thing they could. In the book, they talk about how they slowed them down or wanted to slow them down and all that. And, they're genetically altered to camouflage or to change color or do all this different stuff. Like, they're not real dinosaurs. Let's just get that straight. Like, they may have seemed like that in the first movie or the second movie, but that's not the case. Let's backtrack it and kind of like say that they were never dinosaurs to begin with. So people get upset about that, but it's, I understand it on one hand, but also they're not meant to be a case study for real dinosaurs. So, don't bring that movie to a classroom and say, look, guys, this is what a dinosaur is. No, that's not what a dinosaur is. It's what InGen created. So that's my theory.
Yeah, and that's like comparing it to a documentary versus entertainment. And Jurassic Park was made for entertainment. Jurassic World, not the movie even, just the park itself. And the Jurassic World Park itself was made for entertainment. And they're not making a documentary of it. They're not making a science museum for it and to show you educational value. It's for entertainment. And so they wanted to change them to make it as entertaining as possible. So I get that. So I could see like a group of really into dinosaurs, research, smart people kind of coming together, getting the technology and really making true to form dinosaurs. I mean, that would be okay. That'd be cool to see that and have all that clash together.
Yeah, I think it would be awesome just to see how they fight against each other. I don't want to see like the old school T-Rex fight a new, better dinosaur like we just saw, because we already saw that. We've seen that enough. I really don't care for the battles too much. I don't need more battles, but it would be interesting, and I think it would be poor. It would go poorly for the original Rex in that case. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
Yeah, that was a great question, Josh. Thank you. And next up here, we have a text message, and I'll just read it here. It says, "Hey, it's JP Fan here, and I was wondering, what do you want to see in the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Mattel line? Thank you guys for everything you do, and have a great day." So, what do you want to see?
Oh, okay. I don't know what has been leaked, what hasn't been leaked, what's considered a leak, or what's considered official.
Just keep that aside. What do you want to see?
I want to see, oh man, I don't know, like what has been leaked, I don't know, you want to go first? You go first.
All right, well, that's what I mean, like, don't consider what's out there or what has been seen or what hasn't. Like, if I'm going to talk about what I want to see, initially, I wanted characters that are relatable to the old ones, the old toys. The size, I want like the articulation to be similar. I want the size to be similar. The dinosaurs, I all want like the same size and spectrum. I've talked about this before because when I faced off my dinosaurs as a kid, I always thought it was weird if I had a different size dinosaur facing off against like one that was like huge or one that was small. So I want them to be like, uniform to what we've seen in the past. Jurassic Park 3, when those toys came out, they were such different scale. Even the Jurassic World stuff too, kind of threw everything off. I've wanted like the real feel skin that we got on the original lines, that like soft, rubbery. Feels more like a dinosaur skin you would assume would feel like. But yeah, I mean, I want vehicles. I want humans this time around, not some dinky Owen figure with his head popped off like mine did. And the motorcycle is tiny, and just like everything feels so fragile, whether it's that motorcycle, Owen's entire body, or like the big T-Rexes or everything, they all feel a little fragile. I want something a little bit more, heavy duty, I guess. So that's really all I would want to see from Mattel.
I like the real feel skin thing. I do remember that, and that as a kid, and that was good. That would be nice. That plastic is just not appealing for a dinosaur at all. I obviously want a Claire figure. I want to own a Claire figure. I want to own all of the Claire figures. I'm just going to buy them all and hand them out to people randomly, because that's a service for good people. I don't know. I definitely want a Claire figure, and I'm not big into toys anyway. I don't really have that many. I'm terrible when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I thought maybe like unique ones, like really unique dinosaurs I'll buy. The ones that we haven't seen before, like the T-Rex we've seen a billion times, and the Brachiosaurus and Stegosaurus, Triceratops, like the big five, like, or whatever. We've seen those a billion times. Some unique ones would be neat. I'll buy maybe a couple of unique ones, and then, some cars, depending. Yeah, I'm pretty easy. I'm easy to please. Just give me a Claire figure. That's all I need in life.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we definitely need is Claire. And like, cause all we got last time was Owen, and it was like a really terrible figure. So hopefully we get Claire and other people that we know from the series, and even new characters and stuff like that we don't really know too much about. I think there's so much potential, and I really want like a classic line, cause Hasbro, they're doing the Star Wars line, and they create like a bunch of different scales, which does kind of annoy me in a way, but they do have like a Black Series line, or the old series where you could like, get characters from the past, stuff like that. I think that would be perfect, because all these, Chronicles and, Iron Studios and whatnot, they're all great and awesome to have those like high-end figures, but we need like cheap figures or middle-of-the-road figures that we can buy. Like, I think a lot of the Black Series ones are like $20 for Star Wars. So if they had like $20, Ian Malcolm or Dr. Grant or Ellie Sattler, that would be amazing. Like, I would love to have those.
Yeah. So what about those Funko things? Where's my Ellie Funko? Like, that's dumb.
Yeah, I know. I'm really
Lame.
disappointed by that. I read the news that one week and I was like, this is great. We're getting all this cool stuff, but no Ellie? No, we don't officially know that. I mean, there is that Jeep, like a Jeep Chase. Maybe she could be in there, but I don't think so.
No, it's still not fair though, considering they have everybody else.
I don't know. I mean, she could be in there. You don't usually see like 2 figures in a vehicle from Funko. I feel like it's usually just like one human character and the vehicle, because you would need to have like her and Muldoon, I guess, or even 3, I guess, if that's the case. Maybe Malcolm that would just be too many figures. I don't think that would ever happen. So maybe just have her drive. Maybe that's potential, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen exactly the way we want it to. But like in the environment that we live in now, like, why would they do that? Why would they skimp out and not include Ellie in any shape or form? She's one of the greatest like characters in cinema, like the greatest female characters for sure. Like, include her. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
I know. I mean, she did just as much as everybody else. So come on. It's a shame. But so yeah. I'll hold on to my Claire figure that I want, and they better give me, and then that's it. I'll hide, and that's it. Because they're not giving me anything else.
Yeah.
So I'll take that.
All right, so let's move on to our last voicemail here. This is from Amy. So let's say hey to Amy. Hold on.
Amy.
Here it comes.
Hi guys, it's Amy. Hope you all are doing well and had a great holiday season with your friends and family. This month is a kind of a fun question, and I got inspiration from it a couple of weeks ago when I got the privilege to go down to Universal Studios in Orlando to celebrate my 25th birthday. And naturally, I spent a lot of time in the Jurassic Park area with my dad, because he's also a big fan, so that was pretty cool. We rode the ride, which brings me to my question. What was, concerning the ride, the Jurassic Park ride, what was your first experience like? Or if you can't remember your first experience riding it, what was your favorite memory of it? And if you guys have never been down to Universal and have never ridden it, what do you expect from it when you do go down to it? I don't necessarily remember my first time, but I do, especially this previous time, I still love it. I think I rode it like 10 times, and I still enjoy, the whole ride, including like the scenic and hearing the music and going through the gate. I mean, for me, it's a nostalgic thing. And that's why I've heard rumors that, they're probably false, but they might age out this ride, and I'm kind of sad to see that or hear of that. Like I said, it's just rumors. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but it might. And I definitely would be sad to see that go, that original ride, because it's just so great. So yeah, that is my question for this month, and I hope you guys have a happy new year and a great start to 2018. Bye.
Thank you, Amy.
What a great question.
I know. There's so much good stuff in there, and you in particular are perfect to answer this, right?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Okay, so my first experience with the Jurassic Park ride actually stems from memories back in when Nickelodeon was over there at Universal, and that always advertised Universal Studios on Nickelodeon. I was a Nickelodeon girl. That's all I watched.
Yeah.
And so they'd advertise that a lot, and they'd always have the Jurassic Park in the advertisements. And that kind of formed the ride for me in my mind. Like, those advertisements, that was part of Universal. That's what it was to me. And so it had a lot of hype in that aspect. I was 11 when I first went down there. So I don't know if I have a lot of memories first riding it or any, because I've ridden it so many times since. I've been going down for so many years since, and they'll kind of blend together. But my first initial memory is just watching pieces of the advertisements on Nickelodeon and then going down and I guess riding it. I don't remember my first time because it just blends together so much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you remember your first time?
I don't. I initially went down, like you said, I was a Nickelodeon kid as well. I went down to Universal Studios like in 1990. maybe 90 or 91, 2, somewhere in that range. So it didn't even exist back then. The next time I actually went to Universal was 2006. And so that was 11, 12 years ago now. That was a long time ago. And I don't remember. Wow. I mean, I remember going there and being in awe of like what it was like, what the section of the park was like. But it was a very different place at that point. I liked it at the time, and I kind of find faults in it more recently, how bad it is now. I really don't love it, to be honest. I mean, I guess I've only ridden it maybe only a handful, like 2 or 3 times. Like I haven't gone on it a ton of times, to be honest. I've only been to Universal twice now, I guess. So I'm ashamed to say that, but
wow, I didn't know. Okay, wow.
Every time I go to Florida, it's just for Disney. And Universal's like a side thought in a way. Like I love Universal. Like I love everything that they do over there, and a lot of the rides that they have. Not all of them. But I love that place, and it's just a shame. I always focus on Disney, when I'm going down there, if I'm paying all this money and stuff and I'm staying in their resorts. But now in the age of like Uber and everything, I feel like it's so easy to just go over to the other park. That's what we did last time. That was back in 2015. I've been there two times. Yeah, I've been there 2 times to Florida since 2015 and didn't go to Universal. So, I don't know. It's always a side thought, and I'm like, I'll get there some other time. I'm thinking maybe if I get a chance, maybe I'll go there next year, or this year, I guess, 2018. But it's usually just like one day, and it's really quick. I'm like running out of time because I'm trying to do 2 parks in one day, and I usually only get on it like real quick. But it's in such a decline now. I really don't even care that much about the ride itself. It's fine, but it's just not the experience I want. I want something more, I'm kind of disappointed by the animatronics.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I just rode it a couple weeks ago because I was just there a couple weeks ago, and it didn't look too bad. I mean, it's never going to be amazing because Disney's Dinosaurs always tops for me. That's amazing ride because they're in contained. It's dark and they could do things. Yeah. When you're out in the open in the sunlight like that, it's not going to be great. But with what they try to do, I mean, I don't know if they could do even any better nowadays because animatronics in water is very hard, I would imagine. So they do a good job with it. I wish it wasn't a water ride, to be honest, though, because I don't like getting wet throughout the day.
I know.
And I don't like, you can't ride it multiple times. You get soaked, and I hate that. So I kind of wish it wasn't a water ride. That's my thing.
Yeah, that kind of makes me upset, too, because, I went in December, and it wasn't hot. It was warm enough. I went on, it was fine, but, like, I really didn't want to get wet. And that's just the thing. Like, if I'm going down in, like, a December, like I am, this year, 2018, I don't really care to get wet that much because it takes a little bit longer to dry and all that. And you do get soaked. I mean, I'll wear a poncho, I guess, but, like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to do that. And you get soaked anyway. Like, it doesn't matter if you're wearing a poncho for some reason. And the seats are wet, the floor's wet, everything's wet. Like, it doesn't matter. And I kind of just wish, you didn't have to experience that. But that's kind of the way Universal is. I think you get wet on every ride. Like,
Pretty much.
Whether it's indoors or a water ride or not. Like, you just get sprayed in the face. And you're like, come on, why? Every time.
Why, yeah. I mean, one thing I had to say, though, that King Kong ride that's next to it that they put there would make an amazing Jurassic World ride. Or even another Jurassic Park ride. Jurassic World, I would go for it, have that. It's done so well with everything, and to have that in Jurassic franchise, I mourn it. I mean, it's a great ride. I love riding it because it is a great ride, but to think that could be a Jurassic themed ride just hurts because it's done so well, and it would be amazing. And it's in the perfect location. That just hurts me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you feel about, like, them just tearing everything down and, like, just building Jurassic World, or building something completely different in that area and maybe saving Jurassic for, like, I guess at this point, 4th theme park in
No, the water park's not a park.
I know, but they consider it their third. It's dumb, but
yeah, they think so. Whatever. But I do hear that in the new gate they're going to build, that they're going to have a Jurassic World section in that park, in that gate. Like there's a rumor there, a strong rumor that they're going to have a Jurassic World section and then get rid of their Jurassic Park section because they're going to have a Jurassic World section. However, I don't agree with that. I mean, I'll take the Jurassic World section, but they should keep that Jurassic Park section. There's not much left from the original opening to begin with. And I mean, don't do that. Don't do that. Like I can't handle that. I love seeing the Discovery Center like across the water, and it was little was left of the gates, and don't do that.
Yeah,
Keep
the
it.
Discovery
I
Center.
love that restaurant too.
That's fine. The Discovery Center is so beautiful. Like you said, across the water, you could just stare at that for so long. It looks beautiful in pictures. It's so amazing. But like, I feel like that section is just a hollow shell. Like there's just nothing going on aside from the raptor encounter now that they added. The Discovery Center is just, it's just such a disappointment inside. You know, it's so outdated in there. Let's see, the ride itself, like I said, is outdated, but you really can't do much outdoors, like you said. The animatronics, and there was rumor that Creature Technology was going to come in and redo those animatronics, but even them at their high quality doesn't matter. It's outdoors, it's water, it's rain, it's sunlight, it's everything. It's moisture. It's just going to ruin those animatronics. So it's not going to be what you experience indoors. So I think they have to, unfortunately, get away from an outdoor attraction.
Mm-hmm. They kind of hurt themselves by making it an outdoor water ride.
It's a beautiful thought, and like if you take out the dinosaurs, it's a beautiful ride. Like it's a nice leisurely stroll through a park. But the Ultrasaurus is horrible. Like the movement of that thing, it looks like it breaks its neck. The other dinosaurs are fine. The whatever. Once you get inside, everything looks good. The T-Rex is really cool, but then there's a drop. You're kind of singling out who can go on this ride. Jurassic should be for kids as well. And then you have the kids ride, which singles out only kids, and adults can't ride it unless you have a kid. So it's like it's kind of there's like only kids over here and then only adults over here. So they need to have a section that can cater to everybody all at once. And it's just not doing that now. And at this point, there's almost no salvaging it, So it's like we just got to cut our losses and just demolish the whole thing and build in our third gate or fourth gate, whatever they want to call it. So
why
that's
don't they
just the
just
way.
tear down the ride and build another ride on top of it and make it a better ride instead of getting rid of the land?
I would be for that, but I do feel like that park is confused. I don't think that park knows what it's doing. Universal on the other side is doing pretty well. They kind of got some cool stuff going on, but like Islands is just like, what is happening? Nobody knows what's happening. Like, it's got Harry Potter, and then it's got Harry Potter across the way, and then it's got, Lost Continent that is lost in itself. All the cartoon stuff is just like, who cares?
Oh, I hate that. Yeah, that comic stuff, that's such a waste.
Kong is like in the middle of nowhere. And then superhero stuff that they don't technically even own that stuff. So it's like a weird thing where like they have this property, but they can't utilize it in any other way outside these theme parks. So it's like, it's very strange. Seuss Land is fine. I actually don't have any problems with that place. But the port of entry or whatever it's called is pretty great. It looks beautiful. The tower is really cool. But aside from that, there's not much going on there.
I don't want to lose the Discovery Center across the water, and I don't want to lose his shout out to that restaurant, that restaurant they have there, because if you ever go in there and actually
Thunder
look
Terrace?
at the details in the walls, in the floor, in the stairs, in the ceiling, in the giant light fixtures that are gorgeous, by the way, with the light. I want that light fixture in my house. They're amazing. Everything in that building, I just feel like they put a lot of time and care into. And then it has the giant windows that shows the people coming down the ride. And I feel like it really pays tribute to the kind of eateries that were in Jurassic Park. It just has a really good feel, and you just sit there and look around, and it's done really well, and it really transports you. And I don't think a lot of the restaurants really do that, at least not for me. And I don't want to lose that restaurant. I really, really like that restaurant and the way it feels and the way it looks and the way it's placed. And I just like that. And yeah, the look of the Discovery Center across the water. Anything else, though, I'd be okay for them to just rip apart and build a new Jurassic experience there. Yeah. I'd be okay with that. Just keep that restaurant. It's good. It's great. It's beautiful. I don't know what food they have there. I don't know, but I just like sitting in there. It's really pretty.
Yeah, I just think the whole section, the whole park is like, its days are numbered as, as it stands. It'll be something completely different soon, so.
Harry Potter land. It'll all be Harry Potter.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. We know more Harry Potters coming in Islands of Adventure, right? Yeah.
No, it's going the other side. It's where the Fear Factor stage is.
Well, but there's going to be more in the Dragon Challenge area.
Yeah.
I mean, that's technically in Harry Potter area already, but it's something different. Yeah. So it's gonna transform a lot. But yeah, that's a sad note to end on. Thanks, Amy. Thanks for that.
She probably wanted it to be uplifting and like nostalgic and what was our first memory? And we're like,
Amy,
no,
you're usually more uplifting, yeah, but no, we have no first memories, and we have not many great feelings. I mean, we have you have more so than I do, but
yeah, they're not bad. I mean, they're not great. The water ride, I don't really need. I don't love it. I love the restaurant more.
But Dinosaur, on the other hand, is an amazing attraction. I love that one so much.
And they're talking about getting rid of that for Indiana Jones, which is hurting me because Dinosaur's fantastic.
That's not going to happen. But
I don't know. I'm hearing more and more valid people, but that's another story for another day. But man, Dinosaur is fantastic.
It is, yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, that brings us to the end. And I don't know. I hope it doesn't feel like 6 months before the next Jurassic Mailbag.
I don't know. I mean, now time's going to be flying, I guess, because we're not going to really get much in between.
Yeah, hopefully. But I think we'll have plenty to talk about no matter what. And hopefully Amy brings like a more uplifting question next time.
She probably implied it. She wanted it to be uplifting. We're just depressing people.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, why don't we head off? We've been doing this for way too long already. People have stopped listening. But for some reason, we weren't as off the rails as usual. So that's a good thing.
See what happens when we stay on the rails? People are like, this is boring.
Yeah,
Bye.
It's so boring. My God.
On the rails? No.
Well, where can everybody find you in the meantime between our next recording?
Find me at Jennifer_Lynn89 and at the Bryce Dallas Howard Network, which is going under a total transition and reformation and giant undertaking that's killing me slowly. But it's going to be epic when it's over. Can't wait to reveal it.
Yes, nice. Well, thank you very much, and I'll see you next month.
All right, in 2018. Can you believe it's 2018? It's finally the year of Jurassic World 2.
Oh my God.
2018.
This is going to be nuts. This is going to be huge. I can't wait. I'm so pumped. See you later.
Woo. All right, bye.
Bye.
Hold your fire, do not fire.
God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs. Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
We're gonna have to jump. We can. Are you ready? 1, 2, 1.
This week in the Audio Lab, we're going to hear from Colin Trevorrow via YouTuber Sebas Tamani in an interview where Colin talked about the themes of the new film, how it fits into the Jurassic series of films, and whether or not Fallen Kingdom parallels The Lost World. So, let's take a listen.
To me, it's about greed. And I think, the first film it's a movie about how if there's money on the table, there'll be somebody who will do the worst imaginable things, or in a lot of cases the dumbest imaginable thing, in order to get that money. And this film focuses a little bit more on our responsibility for these animals that we've made as a result of that greed, but also the darkest and the worst instincts of humans, again, when there's money involved. For me, it's important that we keep it at least grounded in a space where the dinosaurs are a parable for animals in the world today. And I think that this, ultimately, when people are able to watch this film and where this franchise is going, it really is about the ethical treatment of animals in the world and our responsibility to the living creatures that we share the planet with, alongside with our responsibility to the planet itself. And I think the riding of a T-Rex by a soldier is a level of fantasy that is I love it, and I would love to see it. I don't know if it's specifically this franchise, but yeah, it's super cool.
Do you have a trilogy plan?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a mirror from the Lost World, like in a King Kong sort of style?
Not really. It looks like it is because they all go to a fog-covered scary island with dinosaurs on it, but it goes to a very, very different place than anyone expects, and really the heart and the soul of the movie, the turn of the story is not what we've shown in this trailer. It's very much not like The Lost World. No, I knew, I knew where I wanted it to go. I remember telling Steven, even while we were still making the first movie, this is the beginning, here's the middle, and here's the end of the end. And this is where we want to go. And I feel like that kind of design is crucial to a franchise like this if you really want to bring people along with you and make sure they stay interested. It needs to be thought through on that level. It can't be arbitrary, especially if we want to turn this into a character-based franchise with people who you lean in to follow what they're going to do. And at the end of this movie, it's really designed, it's not a cliffhanger, but it's designed for people to really want to know what's going to happen next, whereas the earlier Jurassic Park movies had pretty clear, definitive endings. They were much more episodic. And so in working with Derek Connolly, my co-writer, as we designed this film, we were also thinking about where it was going to go in the future.
Well, there you have it. We have some expected bits in there from Colin about greed and the worst possible expectations of humans. I think that's kind of been an ongoing concept throughout all of these movies, really. And he does mention the responsibility to these animals and the planet itself, which is, an interesting new turn for the Jurassic series. He mentions that this will be a trilogy, of course. We already knew that. Surprisingly, he does try to distance, I guess, Fallen Kingdom from the Lost World. Seems like he's trying to turn the narrative around for us fans. But I do love that he continues to talk about how unexpected this movie will be for everybody. Right now, I think we are in great hands with Colin, Derek Connolly, and J.A. Bayona. It's great to see how much care that they're taking into wrapping up this trilogy and potentially the series as a whole. So head to our show notes to find the full video for a little bit more from Colin Trevorrow. Make sure to visit JurassicParkPodcast.com to find all our past episodes, brand new news articles, information on how to contact us, and much more. It's a great source for everything related to the podcast, and of course, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Head to JurassicParkPodcast.com and help us build a great community.
Anybody hear that?
Thanks for listening to the 131st episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. Of course, a huge thanks to Jennifer for joining me again for another amazing installment of the... Does that sound sincere? Did it? I mean... Alright, yeah, it was amazing. Obviously ridiculous as ever. Well, no, actually... It was actually pretty on the rails. I don't know how to do this week. It was pretty normal. So I guess it was pretty good. pretty good episode this week. Me and Jennifer really tackled some of those answers, I guess as best we could, but no, jokes aside, I really love doing this segment. It's always fun to hang out with Jennifer for, around an hour, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit, yeah, definitely more than an hour every month, and I can't wait to do it again next time. Again, I haven't forgotten to thank everybody who called in or wrote in this episode. This mailbag is always so much fun, like I said, to do, and it wouldn't be possible without everybody that participates every single month. You guys start from the moment this one ends, and you don't let up until the moment that one airs. It's awesome, and I can't wait to hear what you guys come up with for the next month. If you want to interact with us, we do most of our work over on Twitter, at Jurassic Park Pod. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Jurassic Park Podcast, and our Instagram handle is at Jurassic Park Podcast. You can listen to us via iTunes, Google Play, Podomatic, YouTube, our website, or wherever else podcasts are found. So make sure to subscribe to automatically get new episodes every week. If you haven't already, please give us a 5-star review in iTunes or a great review wherever you listen to the podcast. It will seriously help out our rankings and make it easier for fans like you to find us. We're usually spotted commenting on the Jurassic Park subreddit as Jurassic Park Podcast. Don't forget to check out JurassicParkPodcast.com for all the links you heard here today. If you want to get a hold of us, you can email us with any news stories, MP3s, comments, or if you want to debut a segment of your own, send them to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. Or you can submit questions directly on our website contact form. If you'd like to record something for the show, send it in to us and we'll feature it in an upcoming episode. If you don't have any way to record, you can give our voicemail line a call and leave us a message. That number is 732-825-7763. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
5 minutes. Drop what you're doing and leave now.